think I'd get them in the business with two of them.
Well, and where Carson City bought an entire fleet of them, and I'm not exactly sure if they have any cars sitting or not. But what I wouldn't want to do is buy an entire fleet and then have these things not be utilized, and then you have assets just sitting not being utilized. So at least with two, we can see what the demand is, and then revisit that when it comes back up again. The next one is the White Pine Golf Course, and they were submitting for green reseeding, aeration, green revitalization. We have granted a project like this in the past, I believe 2 years ago, but let's go back to this one when we talk about the golf course as a whole, and see what we want to fund partially with that one. The next one is Great Basin Trails Alliance, and this is for a stretch of trail in the Ice Plant trail system. And Brian's on the line, so I'll let him kind of discuss this one and the merits of this and the proposal.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Kyle?
Yep, we can hear you.
So this trail, we were looking at improving our uphill product for the trail for our Ice Plant trails to allow for better access, and also to grow the Fierce Tears and Beers race. We've kind of reached a logistic number we can't get past with the trails we have. It becomes dangerous having people pedaling up downhill sections and closing off sections to make the race all happen. And it's also improvement for White Pine County's trails in general, because once again, we have all these people pedaling, less tourism coming in town for trails right now, and we only have one way up, and we have all these people racing down, and it creates this hazardous situation where people are cramming into each other on the trails at high speeds. And it's kind of worked through. In the beginning, we didn't need anything like this because we didn't have this many people actually accessing the trails. And now with all the local people accessing the trails and tourism, tourists coming here just to ride these trails are running into these problems. We needed it so bad the Forest Service actually kicked down $13,400 for this, and that's pretty wild for the Forest Service to take it out of their direct budget to help us build this uphill trail. Then the Great Basin Trails Alliance also kicked down $10,000, and Great Basin Buildings will be building the trails, also kicked down $10,000, leaving us in this $30,000 realm. I can say $5 a foot is what it costs to build trails, and that's a bargain comparative to in Carson City right now. It's about $7 to $8 a foot, and in Salt Lake you can't even find anybody to build trails because they're all over the place building what grant money they can get into it. So that's about it. Do you have anything else to add, Kyle?
I would just say that it also benefits the local NICA team, which is the high school and middle school mountain bike team, by giving them more access and more trails to practice and ride on. So
I'd like to make a comment on that. I don't know if anyone saw the news flash today about a bike rider being killed on Sea Hill today, a mountain bike rider in Carson City.
wow.
And so if we're going to promote this, I think we need to build in the safety factors, and especially with the number of young people who are not experienced riders, that we're going to have to really work on that. And it sounds like this is a triple grant, triple match. Is that right, Kyle, or Brian, from what you've said? You've got the Forest Service, you've got 3 other funders, correct?
Yes, we have 3 other funders, and we're really trying to budget out the best we can to kind of build this length of trail. It's almost to 3 miles, but it's I think it would be a plus for mountain biking. I know it'd be a safety plus. As far as the NICA goes, it's going to be all beginner trail, so it's going to be open for everybody, and I think it actually works for hiking and walking and not being stuck on an ATV trail.
Okay.
I think it has multiple good reasonings for having it. It's just about getting it all together, getting it funded, and getting it built.
So Brian, one more question. Would you be able to start this summer on this trail?
Yes, we would try to get it done by September,
Okay.
because we really need it for the Fierce Tears and Beers race. This year we had 220 riders. It was packed. It was chaotic. We had people all over the place. But by putting in this trail, we'll be able to use all the little trails we use for uphill for the race, for downhill, and we can centralize all the staging in one area and make a little bit tighter of a program, less volunteers, which is the other thing we're running out of because it's hard to get somebody to sit up there for 8 hours in a day and register people's names and numbers and their times on all day long in the sun. But we're hoping with this we could get around 300 people, 300 riders in one day.
Okay. I propose that we fully fund this, and I'm really looking at it as a safety issue and knowing where we are with priority of outdoor recreation, so.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I wanted to add to, Brian made a point that it benefits hiking and trail running too. This also would benefit Ely Outdoor Enthusiast, who is doing a new event this year, the Ward Mountain Scramble, that's utilizing the new trails that Great Basin Trails Alliance has built over the last 3 years. So multiple benefits.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I can say that as far as recreation goes, the USDA has said that every foot of trail that's built, that foot gets paid back within 3 years of tourism.
It's
So
pretty
it
good ROI.
does pay itself back.
Good ROI.
Okay, thank you, Brian. And then the final proposal is the second half of the shade structure at the fairgrounds from the county. We did not recommend the first half of that for funding, so I think when I meet with Tabitha and Elizabeth on Thursday, we can discuss other options for that, so.
And does anybody know offhand about how much that SNPLM grant would be? Surely that actually includes shade structure.
It's 13 to 15 million.
Well, our little 18,000 is. Okay.
Yes.
So what we've got right now is 30,000 for the trails and 6,000 for the e-bikes, or excuse me, for the e-rail bikes, which is $36,000, which leaves $19,000 left out of the 55 to go ahead and discuss golf course or any of the other ones. So we did move the golf course over there to request total $51,000 and change between the two. How do we want to give them the 19,000? Call it good?
Yes.
I think so.
Let's do
Okay.
it. Let's do it.
I think so.
Thank you.
This was originally designed for the golf course, so it's important to keep them in it.
Thank you.
Good call, Brian. Thank you for reminding us. Okay, so that's 55,000 for that one. I believe if there's no more debate, we need to make a motion to.
Okay, let me review those arrows so that we have it on the agenda. On the outdoor recreation facilities grant 2021-2022, we're proposing funding Nevada Northern Railway Foundation E-Rail Bike for $6,000 a 4-man. White Pine County Golf Course for $19,000, and they present in priorities, and so their advisory board will come back and tell us how they're going to spend that $19,000. And then the Great Basin Trails Alliance for $30,000, coming to a total of $55,000, which is our limit. Okay, looking for a motion.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the grants as stated to $55,000 for outdoor recreation.
And we still have the 64 capital. I don't think we've approved that one. They're in one thing.
Correct.
It's in one, it's a word for both of them.
Okay.
So is it 64?
60, yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the capital and grant, improvement grants as stated, totaling $60,000.
And the outdoor facilities for
55.
55, thank you, yes.
And I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries, thank you. It was interesting for me, the groups that did not apply,
Mhm.
so that was an interesting thing. Okay, so let's, I think you have a handout, Kyle, for everybody here.
Yes, so I have this printed out. It's the all-class reunion and Traveling Vietnam War Memorial update.
Thank you.
You do have it in your email as well, and I've got this up to screen share so that everybody can kind of see this. I just wanted to go over this. We're 2 weeks away, which is essentially in any kind of marketing campaign is go time. This is where you're ramping up all of your specific communication with your people to just force feed all of this stuff to them in the 2 weeks preceding the event or leading into the event.
I think we're actually a week away.
We're pretty close. We got this weekend and then we got next weekend. So
Well, it starts the 30th.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for the all-class reunion, we did design their poster with the full schedule of events on it. We are supplying them 500 bags for the people who are registered for the all-class reunion. We've done all of their printing for them, both in the 8.5 by 11s and the larger 13 by 19s. The bags that we're supplying, they're doing the Wednesday before the event or Tuesday before the event, they're going to be stuffing all of them. So we're going to be providing a cheat sheet, our new visitor's guide, and logoed Sharpie in the bag as part of what we're putting in the stuffer. Now, in partnership with Main Street and the Chamber, they are doing restaurant bucks, which will essentially be a $10 gift certificate specifically to participating restaurants during that week of the event. So they will not be able to come back a year from now and flash this restaurant buck. This is to be used during the all-class reunion so that our restaurants get some love. We've also been putting posters out around town. I've had a few people that have told me that they just rip them off the wall because they're like, well, I want this in my house. Well, we're going to talk about some of the efforts that we're doing to put them specifically into people's hands. But we have been going around and doing the poster distribution. For the Vietnam Wall Memorial, which is 2 separate events, 2 separate groups going on at the exact same time, we also did a poster for them with their full schedule of events. What they've been doing warrants their own poster. I've been working with the group to do the program design for the main ceremony, and so that'll be on Saturday, and that is a large honoring of our veterans. All of the printing that's involved in that one, so for both the poster and the ceremony program design, and then we've been getting those posters out around town and distributing them. There was the idea that was presented to combine both of the posters into a placemat that could be put out at all of the restaurants so that when people are dining, they've got the schedule for both of those events right there. We weren't able to make it to the print shop by 3 o'clock, but they are done. We printed out 1,000 of them to get started, and then we can always print on demand if they're flying. But we'll go ahead and pick those up tomorrow, and we will distribute those to all of the restaurants and encourage them to be putting them out. In this week's Ely Time, we took out a column ad. It equated to a 1/4-page ad, but it was a long column, and essentially they took the schedule from the all-class reunion poster and put it in the newspaper. In the next edition of the Ely Times, we paid to get both posters printed back to back, and they're going to be as an actual insert in there. And that was one of those things where, like, when we heard people were taking them off the walls, we were like, well, let's just send them to them in the newspaper. So we've got that one. And we're also working with the Bristlecone Times. Is that the Bristlecone Times? The new paper. We are also putting that 2-sided poster insert in there as well. So those are coming straight to the front door. And then I know the Vietnam Wall Memorial took out a full-page ad for the poster that we did for them in the Ely Times this week. So it's happening. I've done 4 radio interviews in the last 2 months where we talked in depth about all-class reunion, the Vietnam Wall events, 3 times on KDSS and then 1 time on K-Ely. We did update after Fierce Tears and Beers, putting the event up on the homepage as the featured event. That links to the featured event on the page where they can find the 2 posters and links and stuff like that. It's on the calendar. There's been Facebook posts on our page in White Pine talking regarding the posters, but this time leading into it, what Errol and I have been working on is very specific campaigns for all of the history activities, all of the activities for honoring the veterans, all of the activities that regard art and music, all of the activities that are athletic events during the week. So starting tomorrow, you're gonna see, oh, you're gonna be here for the all-class reunion? Here's all the ways you can honor the veterans over the course of the week. another post. Here's all the ways that you can get involved in athletic events and listing the golf tournaments, the disc golf tournaments, the group bike rides, all of that. The art stuff, it would be the 3D gallery or 3D art show at the Art Bank. It would be the mural tour. And so we're just taking all of those and giving very specific information. Posts have been out on Twitter. We have done some paid Facebook advertising, but the campaign that I just talked about specifically for the individual things will also get some paid boosts behind them locally. And then also the Facebook event was created. Sitting in my office, and this is a test run with NDOT, we designed and had created a 4-foot by 25-foot banner to be hung across Altman Street where the museum goes across to the cemetery. It's where the Season's Greeting sign is in the winter. Apparently that was the only thing that they wanted hanging across the street, but we're relentless when we want something, and they finally agreed, so we're gonna hang that one up. Their rules is it's gotta go up so many days before the event, and it has to come down 2 days after the event. So that one will be going up this week. We hired a video crew to document the weekend, so we got David Purdy and Samantha Chian from, I'm spacing it now, Spirit of Nevada. They're going to be coming up and doing a video of the entire event, so that would be the all-class reunion events and the Vietnam Wall. It's gonna be more like the golf course video than the mural video. And so where the mural video, you had Samantha out front kind of leading the conversation. The golf course video was more action shots and sound bites. And so what we're looking for is getting those locals and those alumni that have come back to be like, what do you love about Ely? Why do you love this? Why should people come and visit your town? And getting those sound bites of, we love Ely, Nevada. We've also got a photographer coming into town. It's Larry Burton. He's also coming back out for the powwow at the end of July for the photography for that one. But he's going to be documenting the weekend as well, but in photograph. And then Errol and I will be on location during the entire weekend doing Facebook Lives and updates and things like that. Me personally, I'm on the hook for doing the Trains to Trails group ride on July 1st. So that'll be going out with the 4:30 train up to the High Line. We've had a number of people already ask what the deal is with that one, so we'll get that out. I'll be leading the mural tour the morning of July 3rd. I'll be hosting the disc golf tournament in partnership with Sports World in the afternoon of July 3rd, and then we'll all be all hands on deck at the Alumni and Community Breakfast on July 4th, and Marietta's been helping us out with that one. An update on the breakfast, it'll be kind of a modification of what we've done in the past and what we did last year. Last year it really worked out well that we bought the items that we were serving from the local restaurants. And that was a little bit COVID, but also a little bit the realization that, hey, we're all of a sudden in competition with all of our local restaurants for that morning. So better to go ahead and throw them some support. So what we're working on with Marietta is which restaurants, which items, how to improve those items that we got in last year and just get it ready logistically to go. So I think we're doing pretty good on that one. And so that's the update on that. Pretty much we're rolling. You know, I'm just working with Dave Huckabee on the program. There was a couple last little adjustments that we needed to make, and then we're going to send that off to print. And yeah, it's just a matter of just getting the word out as much as we can over the next week and a half.
Could we have some posters and schedules that we could take and pick up
Absolutely.
tomorrow?
And we have some printed in the poster room, correct? If you want to run and grab that while we're doing our thing and just put them out, that would be awesome. And that's my report for the all-class reunion.
Thank you very much. It's, again, the two different groups, the all-class reunion group is totally different than the traveling Vietnam Wall group, and we've bridged the two to bring the events, it's a 5-day event together, and so it's been a Houdini task for sure, because there's certainly different personalities.
Lots of personalities and lots of moving parts.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll go on to item J, discussion and for possible action, update on the ski resort. Is there any update, Ian?
apologies, I'm in a noisy car, but nothing new has happened with that as far as I know. We've just been slowly putting together our lead list of who we want to reach out to. I guess now that I think about it, I did have a very good conversation with the head of the Silver Lion Silver Lion Farms, and it sounds like they are very interested in just being a part of the process to help find the right person to fund that job. So it's going to be fun.
Great, excellent contact, thank you.
Thanks, Ian.
Okay, item K, discussion and for possible action, approval of the meeting date schedule for the second half of 2021. That's item 4K, and what we've been traditionally doing now is the fourth Tuesday of every month, so that it gives Jeff time to really get the room taxes done and not be so crunched. So these would be all the fourth Tuesdays, does anybody have
Except
any?
for December, so the fourth Tuesday in December, I think, falls deep in the holiday or something like that, the time between Christmas and New Year's.
Mhm.
So I think in the past, we've moved that up just to avoid the holiday.
Yeah, so it's the third, and so, that's gonna be a stretch for Jeff, so let's,
It will be.
since everything's due on the 15th. Are there any corrections or suggestions for different dates? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the board meeting dates from July 2021 to December 2021.
And I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion
Aye.
carries. Thank you. Okay, item L, discussion only, executive director's report, marketing, events and facilities.
Okay. So I will, while Errol's passing that, I'll go ahead and do my director's report, then we can close with the marketing report. Okay, so I've got it up on the screen for screen share. But we'll go over this. I know we just did a whole bunch of grants, and you're probably sick of the word, but that's what I have to talk about.
Is this printed somewhere?
No,
Did you send that to me?
I will.
Okay, thank you.
So we had 4 grants out through Travel Nevada. We had the Visitor's Guide redo and reprint. We had the Nevada Magazine ad. We had the Mountain Bike Marketing Blitz and the Signature Event Marketing. You'll see that, well, the ad for the marketing grant is right there on the table. Or the ad for the Nevada Magazine is right there on the table. And that one we've actually been really proud of. We reused it in a number of other campaigns. And what we tried to do is, and I think Jade pointed this out, that we never have a female rider in any of our ads. It is always very, very male dominated, and because of the bike test, we had some female riders out. So that one's kind of main, front and center. We've got all of our trails showcased with a little bit of information about each one of them. And then we've also got the Fierce Tears and Beers and the Race the Rails annual dates on there as well. So that ad you're going to see in Nevada Magazine, but you're also going to see that in a number of other publications this year, because I really feel like it's a great one for mountain biking. What I wanted to show you guys though is the Visitor's Guide, and this has gone to print. So if there's anything that you see, please bite your tongue, because there's nothing we can do about it till we get rid of 12,000 copies. But this is our new cover. We did something with the train and with the AstroTourism, with it being as big, with the act in the legislature and all the dark sky stuff going on. And so I'll just kind of go through quick. There is advertising that we did a partnership with Kirk Kern, and so they sold the advertising, we created the content, and then went ahead. So some of the things that are brand new, this new image of downtown Ely, the last image we had was a little bit dark, and so it kind of brightens it up a little bit. We repurposed the Master of Steam and Steel article about Angela and just pretty much the staff and the Nevada Northern Railway. We added this article, Lights Camera Ely, about the Ely Film Festival and about Dutch. And again, with our content that we create for the Visitor's Guides, it's more stories about the people that are making these things happen. It's a personality piece. So you know we have a film festival because you've read the story about Dutch. So this was an article that was written by Shadrach, and we were able to use it. We put a new ad in here. This was an updated ad that we put in the Elko outdoor guide, and then it just happened that we could use it in there. Some more advertising. In the old visitors guide, we had top 13 things to do, and so we updated it to the top 15 things to do, and so that just kind of mirrors our top 15 brochure. There, we've got a couple more ads, nice horse race ad. The Wanna Race ad, we went ahead and repurposed, but what we did is we put new pictures in. So we made sure that Silver State Classic was represented because we talked about it a lot in the article, but it wasn't included in any of the photos. And then the horse races, and we've got a new image from Fierce Tears and Beers in there. Some more ads. This was an article on the White Pine Public Museum, but it was severely dated. And so we had Errol essentially reword and rework this entire article to be contemporary right now, where the old article was specifically about the cave bear. This is about the museum and the McGill drugstore with a little breakout about the cave bear. Some new images and stuff like that as well, because some of the old images were dated. Here's our new downtown map that we partnered with the Chamber on for a past grant project. New article on Fierce Tears and Beers. Kurt Gensheimer wrote a great article about the 2020 Fierce Tears and Beers, about how Ely was the only game in town, the only ones that, you know, made an effort to make events still happen. And so this is a really nice article about just the spirit of Ely and White Pine County while showcasing our mountain bike trails. Some more advertising. We updated the mural, the photo here with one of the new Jamie Vinsek murals, the one that everybody loves with the horses. We repurposed the Be the Engineer article, but I changed this image at the top because it looks like that guy's having a lot more fun than the old image. This is a new piece that we put in the visitor's guide because our logo changed to acknowledging that we have 5 communities in White Pine County that we work with. We felt like we had to at least acknowledge in the visitor's guide that we had 5 communities that we're working with. So these are short little blurbs about the history of each one of these communities. Why are they here? You know, what was the purpose? And then it also ties in, you know, while you're in Ruth, you can go do this and this, and make sure to visit the Fallen Miners Memorial. And so it says where they've come from, but also why you would want to go and visit them. And so that also includes Lund, and we've got some great, you know, new images, one of Ruth, one of our new images of Baker, and then a great image of McGill. Repurposed this article about the art bank and the Wally Cushing collection. And then the big thing is making sure that our new businesses are in the shopping. We had to update a few churches that weren't in the old visitor's guide. And then we also fixed probably our biggest mistake from the old visitor's guide, and we included all of the restaurants around the county, where before it was just the Ely restaurants. So all of the restaurants in Baker are now included, London, Preston, and so that has been updated. The lodging, of course, has been updated, and because we are requiring room tax to be collected for the city Airbnb properties, we included that logo in there as well, just because we appreciate the partnership with the Airbnbs in the city. Finishing off with ads, and then there's the back cover right there. So there was a lot of proofreading and eyes that were on this beforehand, a lot of things caught. We worked pretty much up to like the final hour before we could send it off to the printer to get this thing printed out. We're getting 12,000 copies, which is about 4,000 more copies than we did the last time, and they will be here before the 4th of July. So that's that one. Going back to the director's report. And the 2 billboards, I'll go ahead. Ian and Brian, can you see the billboards? You just are calling in, aren't you? Or am I screen sharing this? I am screen sharing this. Okay, so these are the two billboard designs. You've got the one that's got the kid doing the wheelie in front of the Pony Express mural. That's the one that's going to be the check for a check billboard, and so that says Park Place Stay, and then downtown Ely. And then the one coming out of the canyon is the funny one we've been talking about. You've been traveling across the loneliest highway. It's got a really funny bathroom logo. It says you made it, welcome to downtown Ely, but then it has all of the symbols for the things that you can do in Ely and White Pine County: shopping, dining, lodging, train, arts, all that good stuff. Okay, sorry, it takes a little second.